Bitcoin's at 19.6K. Ethereum's right above 1,300. It looks like we're starting the week green.
I'm praying, man. Like I said, I'm going to be praying at every single church I can find here in Barcelona. And I'm addicted and I just can't stop clicking buttons.
Welcome to the CryptoHub, brought to you by Syscoin. I'm your host, Luke Martin. This is my co-host, Trader Maine, joining us from Europe. Maine, what's good? How you living out there, man?
I'm doing good, man. Europe's definitely a vibe, having a lot of fun, but excited to bring you guys this first episode and finally agreeing on a name for the show so we can stop begging for you guys to give us suggestions.
Look, we have a pretty big show lined up for you. Before we dive in, though, I do want to give a quick shout out. We told you guys we'd do a giveaway. Syscoin is helping us do that. So one of you guys has a chance to win some money. Maine, what do they need to do to win some money?
So if you want to win some money, you got to like and subscribe to our channel, both on YouTube and on Twitter. So it's CryptoHub Show on all platforms. Comment on episode 1 when this goes live on YouTube, tag a friend, and then retweet the Syscoin tweet. So if you're looking for that tweet, it's on my page, it's on Luke's page, but that's what you got to do for a chance to win some money.
So take a second and go check out Syscoin. The link is in the description. You might notice some of your favorite projects they're already working with their technology. They're bridging together the best parts of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and to keep up with all their announcements and upgrades and ways they're trying to improve the blockchain space, hit the link in the description. Shout out to Syscoin for helping sponsor the show. It's time to get into things. We have a market. It feels like it's on the brink. We're sitting on a cliff, both for Bitcoin, for ETH, for a lot of different things. Bitcoin's at 19.6K. Ethereum's right above 1,300. It looks like we're starting the week green. Maine, how do you see it? Were you trading anything interesting last week? Like, has anything changed from last week that you're watching right now?
So I'm long right now. We discussed this happening in the last episode, so definitely go and watch that. Where, we were expecting, potentially a bullish month of October. Historically, Bitcoin has been green in the month of October. That's what we mentioned last week. And it's still very early. It's only October 3rd. But as you can imagine, CT is already celebrating as if, the whole month is going to be green. And I hope it will be. There's a lot of really cool churches here in Barcelona. So I'll go and pray at every single one of them for Uptober. But no, I'm personally long Bitcoin. I do think we got a good shot of hitting 21.5. I'm long Bitcoin. I'm still long Solana, which I mentioned in the last video as well, as a coin that I saw that was kind of being a bit reflexive. And I'm long stocks as well. We're back above June's low. I think everyone was kind of watching the same thing, a swing failure pattern of that June's low. We ended up going a little bit lower. But now that we're back above, you have a very clear level of invalidation. If we get back below that level, cut your longs, time to get out. But let's hope that this is potentially a temporary bottom at the very least, and we can see some green in the charts for the next little while.
Previous bear markets, everyone's seen the tweets and knows the phrase, the bear markets turn altcoin traders or altcoin believers into Bitcoin maximalists. And some people think it's because, you lose so much money in altcoins that eventually you love Bitcoin. It's actually a different kind of driver, this bear market, but the same thing is happening. Right now, there's altcoins that aren't doing anything. Like the altcoin market, there's nothing moving. It's not worth trading. Anyone that's trying to do it is picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. Like, it doesn't make sense to sit at your screen and try to trade things that are up 1 or 2%. I think right now is actually making Bitcoin more exciting, more interesting for the first time in a long time. Whereas it used to be, people would say, well, if Bitcoin's going to go up 5 or 10%, I'll long this altcoin. It just hasn't been the case. I mean, you look at the coins that are moving and the setups that are interesting. Bitcoin it's at support. It's hard to say whether or not it's going to hold, but it's at support. And then the only altcoins that are moving and worth watching, you have Luna Classic, which is, pardon my French, it's a shit coin. It's turned into a meme token. You have BNB, which is hitting new all-time highs versus Bitcoin. And then the XRP momentum kind of died out from that SEC news. Is there any alts outside of Solana that you think are worth paying attention to, or is it a Bitcoin show right now?
So listen, there's going to be some alts that move naturally, right? Like Bitcoin still is the king in my opinion. So when it wants to go, it's going to kind of drag everything with it, where you can have periods of time, like you mentioned, where Bitcoin is maybe going sideways and altcoins are having kind of some asymmetric runs. But if Bitcoin's going to go on a run and we're able to go up 10% on Bitcoin, you're going to see altcoins pump. If you want to trade an altcoin, simply look at the altcoin versus Bitcoin chart and see if that chart looks good as well. Because if that chart doesn't look good, if that chart's in the downtrend, making lower lows and lower highs, you're better off just longing Bitcoin. So personally, right now, I'm focused on Bitcoin. I'm not opposed to taking some longs on alts, but I need to see them set up not just for USD versus BTC as well. Because we're seeing BTC strength. You got to make sure that altcoin is outperforming that. not just outperforming USD to capitalize and, kind of maximize your returns.
Before we get into the news that I think is driving the markets most, what matters this week, I have to talk about one of the strangest alt setups right now. And there's a ton of people trading this thing. It is the one altcoin that people are trading. It's Luna Classic. It's a coin that was one of the best performers in the past week. It still is up this week. And it's a meme token. It's a dead project. The founder's potentially on the run. They have a change in supply. And one of the best tweets I saw covering it was from Light Crypto. And he said, look, they've managed to add $1 billion in market cap on this Binance announcement. The Binance announcement didn't change too much because the volume is essentially going to trend to zero anyways. Like, why are people trading this thing? I'm trying to wrap my head around this, why it's not going down or why we have in a bear market meme tokens doing so well. I think it's just because people are bored. I don't really get it. Like, are any of these games worth playing? Like, can meme tokens do well in this bear market?
I am no Light Crypto or GCR. These are the kind of guys that see what's going on with the Binance announcement. They're looking into the future and they're like, oh yeah, I'm building the massive short on this thing. GCR, I think, has already retweeted a multi-million-dollar in profit short position, basically playing this as a sell the news event, right? I do think that the market is kind of lacking any narrative. Merge happened, SEC case versus XRP happened. What's left? I think any sort of narrative driven move, that's where volatility seems to be going. So, I mean, maybe there's an advantage to, paying attention to some of these things, but that's just not my game. And personally, I have no interest in being involved with anything Luna related. I lost enough money on Anchor and Luna. So many of my friends did as well. I think Do Kwon belongs in jail. So I'll have no part of longing his coin.
All right, fair enough. I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but it's just the one coin that keeps popping up in my feed, and they've built an army. It's a weird thing. We have bottom of the barrel shit coins that are doing okay, and then you have Bitcoin. I think a lot of people are focusing on that again because it's one of the only coins that setup looks decent. So it's this weird dichotomy in the market right now. All right, market-wise, news-wise, one of the things that people are paying attention to that I think everyone should be aware of. Interesting chart I saw shared last week. Travis Kling said that correlations between the stock market and Bitcoin are dropping. And this is a phenomenon that's happened all of 2022. It's plagued us. It's what's held crypto back in a way. When stocks drop, Bitcoin and crypto drops. We have to wait for stocks to go up for Bitcoin and crypto to do well. That relationship has started to come down a little bit. He shared a chart in the past week where Bitcoin was up a couple percent. Stocks were down 7%. So we are starting to see relative strength. Do you think that that's important? Is that a hint of what's to come?
Personally, I don't. I still think we're in that risk asset basket. I mean, you look at stocks today, they're up a couple of points. Bitcoin looking good as well. Both, Bitcoin sure hasn't went below June's low. Stocks have. I think people take the correlation argument too literally.
Yeah.
They want to see a day-to-day, lockstep correlation. Stocks go up, Bitcoin goes up equivalently or slightly more because it's, maybe more reflexive or higher beta, whatever you want to call it. I think if you look at any sort of medium to high time frame on both Bitcoin and Ethereum versus the NASDAQ versus the Dow versus the S&P 500, the correlation is still so strong in my opinion. Is there a sign of potential relative strength? Maybe. I do think it's also important to note that Tesla, which is a major part of the stock market, is down huge. I think they canceled a project. They pushed back deliveries on some vehicles and cut production. And that went down massively. And that is going to, I know, hinder perhaps the performance of, a basket of equities like the S&P 500, right? So something to pay attention to. Absolutely. But what we've known for sure, and this is for as long as Bitcoin has been around, it does really well when stocks go up and it does really poorly when the dollar goes up. So until those two kind of things change, stocks start going up again, consistently, and we have expansion, and the dollar obviously is not dominating every other asset out there. You want something to long, go look at the US dollar chart. That's a dip that you want to buy, I think. Yeah, for me personally, I'm not too worried about people are going to say the correlation is back on today just because both are pumping, right? And then we have a day where they're separate, people are going to have this argument again.
Yeah, it's the exact same discussion that people were having. Go back to 2018, Bitcoin crashes to 3K. For the stuff. I'm going to bleep that out here on YouTube. I think the algo doesn't like that word.
Yes.
But you guys watching and listening know what I'm talking about. During that crash, 2018, Bitcoin goes to 3K. When it traded up and everything was rising again, there was a period of time, like 3 or 4 months, where Bitcoin and gold were lockstep. I mean, gold would be up 1%, Bitcoin would, they just tracked each other so close. As time went on, as everyone's talking about that, gold has to be up for Bitcoin to do well. As time went on, that relationship just faded, and then now no one talks about it. And I think that we will eventually see that again. I'm not at all saying that Bitcoin and stocks won't move similarly, but I think people forget it's so easy to get kind of wrapped up in what's happening in the current cycle. In the long term, these correlations, sometimes it's high, sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's negative. This asset class has so many unique drivers and narratives and investors that can step in and just change everything in an instant. So right now we are kind of still stuck to stocks, even if it's dropping a little bit. I think long term it will fade. And the counterpoint to that is, even if you think it stays, stocks only go up and to the right. I mean, that is like designed.
Go look at the yearly chart on the S&P 500. I would love for Bitcoin to look like that.
Yeah.
So I think I don't think the correlation is a bad thing. I do completely agree with you. I think the kind of ethos and long-term vision of crypto is that it does prove to be, what it was set out to be so many years ago, and not just be some other tradable asset, right? If it just becomes some other tradable asset for big money, and it's just another way for large entities to move liquidity in various different markets, that's going to suck, because guess what, then it's going to start to trade a lot more like a currency in stocks, which is, as someone who has experience doing it, way harder. You see Trader SZ talk about this a lot. Crypto is still in its infancy, right? The hedge funds, the people that are trading it, it's not nearly as sophisticated yet as traditional financial instruments are, which in my opinion are much harder to trade. So I would love for Bitcoin to ditch the correlation completely, sure, and become its own thing. But that being said, I think you summed it up perfectly. Stocks go up and to the right, and that's what I want my Bitcoin to do as well.
Something to still pay attention to. Long term, I think it's less important than people are making it seem right now. All right, big scandal this week here in the crypto world, also in the poker world, also in the fishing world. There's just been scandals. Some fishermen.
Fishing video is crazy,
bro. That's insane. There's people stuffing fish fillets and metal balls into fish to win fishing competitions. And the poker world, You have this girl where people can't decide if she made the best play of all time or if she's cheating. That one has everyone divided. In crypto,
and there's a chess one too.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
the chess guy who beat Magnuson, and they're like, he must have cheated. It's the only way. And they were saying that he had like something literally up his ass, telling him what moves to make. Like the computer was sending him signals through like anal beads, which is just nuts.
Same with the poker world. That's actually one of the leading theories on how this girl cheated. We don't need to get into that. Everyone's divided on that. But we have our own scandal in crypto here. This one could be more clear-cut. I'm not going to make any accusations, though. We don't need any lawsuits on this channel, but I do think it's important to cover because it was a bomb. So if you guys missed it, ZachXBT, it's a Twitter account that uncovers these potential scams in crypto. He highlights whenever someone's doing something bad, and I think it's a valuable, very necessary service here in crypto where you have millions of people coming to the asset class. They look to YouTubers and people on Twitter, people with lots of followers and influence, and they say, what are these people telling me? I'm going to buy their recommendations. What happened was he went after a YouTuber called Crypto Lark. And if you haven't seen the thread, he is alleging that Crypto Lark would tweet about these pre-sales, these new coins that can go 10x or 100x. I know you guys have all seen the videos. And then immediately as he's promoting these coins, he then dumps them as he's promoting them and is very excited and saying they're going to go up. Man, did you see this thread? What's your take on this?
Listen, to be a criminal in blockchain is very difficult, right? Because everything is traceable, everything is trackable. And Zach managed to find one of Lark's wallets through some old tweet where he was tweeting about, an NFT, and boom, right? Then it's just following the breadcrumbs. It's disappointing. This is one of the reasons why, I think we're getting on YouTube. We're starting a show like this is new entrants into the market. You don't go to Twitter. We live in a bit of an echo chamber on CT, right? Crypto Twitter, for those of you that don't know. If you're trying to know what Bitcoin is and you're uninitiated, you're going to YouTube, right? You're typing in, what is Bitcoin? How do I invest? And you're going to see these same kind of people that are the largest presence online. And I believe Lark has 1 million followers. That's a lot, right? And trust me, when I was an uninitiated investor, when I'm trying to learn anything on YouTube, someone having a lot of followers, you kind of just equate that, meaning, oh, this person must know what they're talking about. A lot of mental gymnastics going on, obviously, in the language, that he's using, trying to justify what he did. Oh, I wasn't paid, but he was getting these tokens at a very, very discounted rate and at a cheaper price than anyone who might be buying off of his recommendation was going to be able to get them at. A lot of these things dump immediately after they get listed. A lot of these tokens never come even close to the prices, that they were when they're listed. So you got to be careful. Unfortunately, there's so many of these shady actors in the space. You have to do your own research. That's the whole ethos of crypto, right? You got to verify. You got to do your own research. It's unfortunate that this exists, but kudos to Zach. I think it was a great thread. And like you said, this is definitely needed. This kind of stuff needs to be brought to light.
If someone wants to know how the sausage is made, Zach highlights it. He says, one of these examples, Lark drops a YouTube video, and this happens across YouTube. It happens across Twitter. If people are wondering, how do these people make millions of dollars promoting these coins? Here's how it works. He drops a YouTube video for 100x low cap gems. That's what it's called. So he's giving you a coin. He said it's low cap. It can go 100x. On February 12th, 2021. He proceeds to dump his tokens that same day for the coins that he said can go 100x. If you have that high conviction, you think it's going to go 100x that cycle, why would you sell that day? It's just insane, dude. So it looks like he made over $1 million doing this. It's contested. He said he didn't do it.
On one address.
Yeah,
that's
he said
just on one address.
On one address. So he said he didn't do it. I think there's a lot of evidence here. Who knows? I'll let the jury decide. I'm curious what you guys think, or if there's any other examples you saw, but I do think we had to highlight it.
At the end of the day, I think everyone is talking their own book, right? Like, you're shilling your own bags, but there has to be some level, especially when you have that kind of an audience. There's a difference between me posting bullish stuff about an altcoin that I'm actively in a long in versus me having asymmetric information and access to you, and then using that to, take advantage. I mean, the same day thing just kills me, man. Drop the video, log on to MetaMask, go on a Uniswap, insta dump. That's nuts.
It is insane. It's just scandal season. The bear market in crypto is people are getting outed. You have the scandal in poker. It's everyone's trying to scam right now. Tough times. I guess that's just a sign of the times right now. It's a recession. People are looking for ways to make some money. All right, what else? We have Uptober. It's begun. It's October 3rd as you guys are watching this. And this is a positive thing. We highlighted in the last episode. I'm bringing it up again today because the statistics are crazy. And if you haven't seen it, since 2015 for Bitcoin, we have always had a green month, except for 1 month. It was down 3%. The other months were plus 36%, plus 20%, plus 50%, plus 30%, plus 40%. So historically, this month, October, what we're entering right now, has been insane for Bitcoin and for crypto for the past X amount of years. Man, I know that that's kind of a ridiculous case to make and say, look, on this month, we usually do pretty damn well. But I mean, it's like we don't have much else. I mean, Bitcoin's at support. Usually we do well here. What do? Do we pray? Do you think it happens again?
I don't think it's that crazy. I mean, if you trade currencies, seasonality is a real thing, right? There are seasonal trends in other markets, and Bitcoin seems to be the same. We often have our all-time high or our bear market lows around Christmas, right? When you're trying to celebrate, you're either really celebrating or you're wondering if you have enough money to buy presents for your family. It just seems to do that around the holidays. In October, generally green, like you said. I think so. What's that? 7 of the last 8 years we've had a green October. I like those odds. The charts look good. Bitcoin looks good. You have seasonality behind it. Stocks look good as well. I'm praying, man. Like I said, I'm going to be praying at every single church I can find here in Barcelona. And hopefully we can just have some green across the board and get like a proper bear market rally. Because even though bear markets might be painful, there's some wicked runs, man. So hopefully maybe this is the start of something.
Yeah, I wonder why that happened. I've kind of looked at this chart and wondered over the past week as more people highlighted it and realized the numbers are just insane. I wonder if it's like a Q4 thing where maybe people are buying before the year ends, and then that means they can hold it for over a year. It's more beneficial for taxes. Like, what's driving that? Or is it just randomness? Like, what do you think? Why is October always so great?
Absolutely. Like if you're trading at a fund, right? It's a new quarter. There's new capital, there's new allocations being made. There's tons of stuff that would make sense. Not only is it a new quarter, it's the last quarter going into a new year, which is also terrifying that 2022 is almost over. I'm still mentally in 2020, I think. But so there's definitely a lot of, I think, legitimate reasons why starting Q4, there's going to be the potential that there's maybe some more money coming into the space. You also have the narrative of the midterm rally, right? We have a midterm election coming up in the US. The government that's in power right now, it would be in their best interest to make the stock market look a little less shitty
Yeah.
right now. If the numbers going up, I'm not saying we're going back to Jerome Powell, money print to go Burr days, but if we can get, maybe the SPX back above 4,000, that's going to look really good to the average consumer who says, okay, well, my 401k is looking a little bit better. Inflation is not going up as aggressively, and maybe we have a little bit of a rally in risk. I don't know if it's the beginning of the end, but we've talked about this on this show, obviously on streams, on Twitter as well. I think the time to be massively bearish on risk has passed. I'm not saying we can't go lower, but we are 70% off of the high. Not saying we can't go down to 10K. We absolutely can. But I think the time to be mega bear on Bitcoin and, risk has passed. I'm personally of the mindset between 10 and 20K Bitcoin. I think you're going to look pretty smart next cycle. 500 to 1,000 Ethereum, I think you're going to put pretty smart next cycle. I know that's a big range. So if you buy Bitcoin now and we go to 15K, are you prepared to dollar cost average, be underwater? Those are things you have to plan for and figure out. But maybe this is the start of some fun, man. So I'll be looking forward to it. And now that we're going to be doing this show every single week, if we have a green month, maybe we'll have some trade setups for you guys as well.
Yeah, it's a scary time. Bitcoin's at support. We're grinding along this 18, 19K level. But we do have Uptober. We do have the potential midterm run. We have bear market rally potential. I don't know. Maybe we just get a nice trifecta of some green energy.
25K.
Right. Yeah, I would love
25K. Why not?
I would love that, dude. I would love that. All right, before we wrap up, anything on your watch list this week, coins that you're looking to trade or levels? And I'm asking you because you've been on fire. We've done these episodes for a month and a half, maybe, and I don't think you've missed a week. Maybe 1 week the target was a little bit off, but directionally, we've been pretty spot on. And I've leaned on you. I just haven't been trading. Like, this just isn't, in my opinion, an environment I want to trade. But you've been pretty damn good with these levels. Anything you're looking at for Bitcoin right now as we sit at support, altcoins, anything at all worth watching?
Yeah, so full disclosure, I'm long Bitcoin already. So I'm long from about 19.1. I would like to see Bitcoin go to 21.5. That's the next key level. I do think if we're able to flip 20K, because we've tapped 20K effectively 3 times in the last couple of weeks. We've been up to 20K, then back to 18, up to 20, back to 18, up to 20 again. I think if this rally can get us above 20, that kind of big figure psychological level, I think we got a pretty good shot at, juicing up another $1,500 from there. So 21.5 is my near term upside target, on Bitcoin. On Ethereum, I would like to see a move back to about 1430 to 1440. That's the kind of near term upside level I would like to see us get to. Again, we've got to kind of get above this, initial we're in a very tight range right now. So if you just go on your chart, you look on the 4-hour, it's a very clear resistance level on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like if we can get above there, there's a good opportunity that we might see another 5 to 10% across the board.
One of the things that I kind of want to close on is my favorite tweet I saw. Caroline, this girl who's now running Alameda, one of the top trading firms here in crypto. Everyone's familiar with them. She had a tweet way back where she highlighted and she said, this was like a couple cycles ago. And she said, it clicked for me when I realized you don't have to fight over that 1 or 2%. There's times where it just doesn't make sense to try to trade this 1 or 2% and have an edge. It makes so much more sense to try to figure out when the market's going to go up, focus all your energy on that, on when are things actually looking better, and just try to get as long as you can before that. Like simplify the approach. Stop trying to be this pro that times everything and catches the move every single week. If you can instead focus on, well, it looks kind of shitty right now, but be objective about when it's starting to look better. that strategy is just, there's so much more upside in that. And that's personally what I'm focused on. It's nice. It's refreshing to see even the top of the top professional traders kind of say that, of simplify the game, focus on the big picture, and that's how you win.
I mean, listen, unless you are an active trader, you're doing what I do. You're in the charts every day, intraday, you're looking low time frame for setups, things like that. There's lots of great level to level, low time frame traders, SZ, Ape Trade. There's so many of them on Twitter. Look at Don Alt. Don Alt will come on Twitter, post one chart a month, right? And be like, big support level here. Probably going to buy. Come back a month later. What do you know? Price went up. And in the meantime, he's rock climbing. He's got a girlfriend. Now he's living life. That is such a better way to live. And I think is way easier to outperform if you can be patient and wait for those big spots, like you said, and then get long, then have conviction, than it is trying to grind out these 1 or 2%. We just have a sickness, me more so than you, where I'm addicted and I just can't stop clicking buttons. But I am not the norm. Most people would have been better off just buying when things look like they're at value and then just being patient, right? Like you said, focus your time, do your research. So when the time comes, you pull the trigger and you pull it hard. And then just chilling the rest of the time, right? But if you're like me, even when I'm here in Barcelona, I've got my computer with me, I've got my phone out, but that's just that gambler degen lifestyle. That's not for everyone, and I don't recommend it for everyone.
You dog. Yeah, I think the most impressive part about that is he's managed to get a girlfriend and keep it in the bear market. I mean, that is something that very few of us in Twitter can understand.
He's not even one of us anymore, man.
Impressive, dude. Impressive.
Yeah, I don't even want girlfriends until we're back above 30K. So I don't know what happened.
I don't even want trading advice. I just want life advice from Don. I mean, the guy has it figured out. Shout out Don. All right. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in. This is the first episode of the Crypto Hub. Please remember, this is where the episodes are dropping now. So we've previously put them on our own channels. On this channel, it's where they're going to come out. I can't speak. Drop, subscribe right down below, hit a like, and also you can get featured on the show. If you drop a comment, have any questions, coins, topics, we'll answer it on the show. Drop your comment, your question down below. Love hearing from you guys. Man, enjoy the rest of your trip. Cheers, brother. Talk soon.